Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today, on our expert talk uh, at NFSporTech, we have a distinguished guest with us, Chief Operating Officer of Caramball Events, Head of Business Development, Gen X Cricket Institute, Manager of R. Ashwin, Mr. Karthik Subramanium. Welcome to the show.
Morning. How are you doing?
Very fine, thank you. How are you?
Fine. Your name is very famous, Shikhar.
Yeah, my surname was famous before, but now in cricket fraternity, it's the first name.
Hope you don't change it to Gabbar.
No, I wouldn't. To my guest, Karthik is a passionate cricketer. He's played cricket himself when he was younger. I think you continue playing also now. He's also father to an aspiring fast bowler. He's currently a passionate cricket follower and a huge R. Ashwin fan. So it's only appropriate that he's also managing him. Karthik, what do you have to say about this?
I feel very privileged and proud to be a Ashwin fan, and it gives me great happiness and honor to be representing him and his brand. Ashwin is a very popular cricketer, very internet savvy, very knowledgeable, very passionate young man, and it is a matter of pride for me to be representing him.
Very well. So, starting off with our talk today, give us a little introduction about what Caramball Events is about, and also you are heading business development for Gen X Cricket Institute. So, tell us a little about these two establishments.
Yeah, so Caramball Events and Marketing Private Limited is an initiative of Preeti Ashwin, Ashwin's wife, which is all about managing brand Ashwin, his brand endorsements, his businesses, his off-field activities. So Caramball Events manages Ashwin as far as his brand endorsements are concerned. As far as Gen X Cricket Institute, Gen X Cricket Institute was started around 8 years back by Mr. Ravichandran, Ashwin's father. And Ashwin is a mentor with Gen X Cricket Institute. I head business development for Gen X Cricket Institute, where I look at relationships with various schools, colleges, and see where we can tie up to take the concept of cricket coaching forward. Gen X Cricket Institute was started with a motive of churning out better human beings. The intention was definitely to coach cricket, but Mr. Ravichandran always felt that we need to churn out better human beings. It being a gentleman's game, I think the philosophy of the organization gels well with the intention of giving good cricketers and better human beings back to the society.
Interesting. It is a more holistic approach. Taking the game.
Yeah, it is very holistic in the sense that today's games is very popular all across the world. A lot of children are watching constantly on TV, and they sort of mimic their favorite cricketers. So it is very important to give a very strong message to the society that cricket is a sport, but it also means playing the game in the true spirit of sportsmanship, and that is what we as an institute strive to achieve.
Right. You have 20 plus years of experience in sales, marketing, and operations. Have you managed any celebrity before you started your involvement with managing Ashwin?
It'll be, in fact, good to say, and also I'm also happy to note that you have noticed that 20 plus years of sales and operations. Yes, it is you can't call it a big achievement, I'm a humble, simple human being who has had experience of 20 plus years of experience in sales, marketing, and operations. I've not, worked with any celebrity before, but the fact that I have had this experience has helped me to work along with a huge personality like Ashwin. Because once you are sort of experienced in sales, marketing, and business development, you also know how to handle people because you have come across people in your life at different capacities, CEOs, CFOs, COOs. So that sort of helps you to rub shoulders with other people as well, including personalities. So that way, that 20 plus years of experience is just a number, but definitely it has helped me in my current job.
Right. Talking about Ashwin, one counts Ashwin in a different class of cricketers. The likes of Rahul Dravid, Anil Kumble. How do you see this difference in the approach towards game? The persona that Ashwin has. He's not like the Virat Kohli kind of for the lack of any better word, the loud personality that Virat Kohli has, and some of these young cricketers tend to have. Ashwin comes across as a more, and of course he is a more well-read and a slightly more sophisticated cricketer than you would usually see on TV. How do you see this difference on a day-to-day basis when you deal with Ashwin um, in general?
Ashwin is a rare breed of sportsmen. Not only cricketers, but I would say across the sporting fraternity, you'll find you can actually count such personalities who are well-read, who are thoughtful in what they do. Ashwin, of course, by his educational qualification, is an engineer and he's an MBA. He is one sportsman who's always innovating, who's always thinking. I will come to the leadership part later on in the conversation, but he loves to innovate, and that innovation sort of rubs off on his employees as well, on his team members as well. He always allows people to think and gives the freedom and flexibility in working, and that is the reason why Gen X Cricket Institutes is one of the top cricketing coaching institutes in the country, because that flexibility and freedom to work and to think is something that comes naturally to Ashwin, and he passes it on to others. He never shies away in passing knowledge to others. He's not secretive about anything. So he's very, very open and transparent, and that quality sort of is something that we as his team members pick up those qualities and pass it on to others as well.
Right. Speaking of Ashwin being a mentor to Gen X Cricket Academy, in the past few years we've seen a spurt in cricketers endorsing cricket academies. You've got Yuvraj Singh running his own chain of academies. You've got the Pathan brothers, Dhoni, all of them. I mean, all the top guys do have dabbled in this phase. So, how do you see sports academies evolving in future?
I think there are two aspects to it. So if you see, there was, if you have gone through history, there was this before Christ and AD, BC and AD. So now people will refer it to as pre-COVID and post-COVID. So I think sports academies will also evolve. They will take a lot of these best practices going forward. There will be social distancing norms in place. But I think people will also come back to sport very, very fast, because parents will be very keen to not allow children to remain at home, stay glued to TVs and gadgets. Rather, send them to ground, allow them to run, enjoy the free, fresh air, and get back to normalcy at the earliest possible. I think Gen Next is no different. We will, as an organization, ensure that best practices are followed. In fact, as an institute, we were one of the first institutes to close down even before the government sort of announced that, coronavirus.
It's around the same time we had a conversation, and you did apprise me of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we always do things that are in the best interest of our clients, and it will also continue going forward. I feel that there will be no change going forward. People will come back to the playing ground at the earliest possible, as and when the government announces the notification.
Right. Now talking, trying to draw a parallel between jo academies, players like Yuvraj Singh and MS Dhoni, or at least are run by under their name, vis-a-vis Gen Next, which one difference we already see that Gen Next doesn't have Ashwin's name. So you're not trying to promote Gen Next as Ashwin's academy. Ashwin is mentoring them. What other differences do you see your methodology is compared to others?
The names that you have given are legends like Yuvraj Singh, MS Dhoni, or Virender Sehwag. All these people have started their own cricketing institute, and each institute has its own unique product offerings. I can definitely talk about what Gen Next Cricket Institutes brings to the board. We believe that we have over about 600 kids who are training with us at any given point of time. We believe that each kid is unique to us. So whether it is the training methodologies, the drills that are used by our coaches, or even the digital reports that we send to the children on a weekly or a quarterly or a monthly basis, these are all unique things that happen at our institute. And the fact that our mentor, Mr. Ashwin, is grounded, he knows, and when he is not playing cricket, he comes to the ground and spends a lot of time with the children. He knows each kid by name. So he refers to each of the children by their names. That is not something that you will see happening with many celebrities, but Ashwin does that very, very consciously. And we treat each of our clients with utmost importance, as if, and it goes with the adage saying that customer is a king. So we believe in that, and we ensure that equal attention is given to each and every child, which according to me is very, very important in a sports like cricket. You must give attention to each and every child, whether you have one or whether you have 1,000 children who are training under you. This importance to given to each child will take you a very, very long way in the future. And that is something that, Gen Next prides itself about.
As a manager who's responsible to manage the business interests of a celebrity cricketer, would you advise every cricketer to have a coaching establishment? Is that something which is financially lucrative in your understanding?
See, Ashwin started the Gen X Cricket Institute not with a commercial motive. The intention of Mr. Ravichandran was to churn out better individuals from the institute. If you're looking at it as a business that will churn money, that should not be the primary motive. Your primary motive should be to coach children and give them the best possible practices, best possible drills, exposure to tournaments, exposure to as many match scenarios as possible. That if that is sort of taken care of, everything else will fall in place. Having said that, if there are cricketers who are, getting into the national side, initially the full focus and attention should go towards the game before they think about the latter part of their career.
Right. Sure. Okay. Talking about a little about business. What are the other business interests that you as a manager for Ravichandran's brand you have interests in, and the areas where Carrom Ball events has participated in terms
Yeah.
of business?
So Ashwin is Mr. Ashwin is very, very popular on social media circles. He is one celebrity who makes it a point to reply to hundreds of his fans. Maybe almost whenever he's not playing cricket, he's on social media, and even now he is on YouTube conducting these sessions, quizzes. He's very good at that. He's very good at maintaining relationships, interacting with fans, and this he does it quite often. So that is.
And he answers to all
because
questions himself.
Yeah, he does that. He does
Wow.
that.
So
In fact, his social media channels is something that he maintains himself. He does not allow a third party to manage it. But
I
as a
think there are very
consequence of
few
that,
cricketers out there who are managing their profiles themselves. I know
exactly.
Virendra Sehwag is one,
Okay.
but it's good to hear that all the questions that are asked to Ashwin on social media are answered by himself.
Yeah. So as a consequence of that, because you're so active on social media and the answers are so natural, which come straight from his heart, a lot of brands do approach us and ask us to, speak about their brands, do some brand endorsements. But these are brands which come very naturally to Ashwin. If it is in his area of play, he will do these brands. It's not that we endorse each and every brand. We do a lot of study in the background saying that will this brand be right up Ashwin's alley? Should we do it? Should we not do it? So everything is not commercial. We do it if and only if it suits Ashwin's requirement and if it is in his zone of play. So that is something that I do constantly. We get a lot of mails from brands asking us to, asking if Ashwin would be interested in endorsing the brand. The other area of activity is, of course, Ashwin is a very good, speaker. So there are a lot of corporates that want leadership talks, want employees to be addressed by a celebrity like him. So that is one more interesting area where he works and he advises young entrepreneurs, young executives, young managers on various topics because his playing experience is so vast and so unique. He can actually tell people about how to manage stress, how to handle match scenarios, how to stay motivated. So those are some interesting areas that we keep working on.
Right. Okay. Coming to just an extension to business, there are times when a player doesn't find a spot in the playing 11, playing 15 of a country, and he's off national duties. As a manager, how do you manage this time off for a professional cricketer?
Ashwin has no time at all. Whether he's playing cricket or not playing cricket, he's so much in demand that there is something that is constantly happening. Even today, there are some online sessions that are happening where he is very, very involved.
Mm-hmm.
It might be true for other celebrities.
How does the usual calendar look like? I mean, how
it
deep
is
into
jam-packed.
the year is the usual calendar for Ashwin, and that is obviously
that's what I'm telling you. It is sort of jam-packed. Whether he's playing or not, there is some activity that is happening. In my life, there is nothing called a Sunday or a Saturday. We work around the clock and there are assignments constantly that are happening. There are talks that he's giving. There are a lot of other parallel activities that are happening. For example, there is this thing called Ashwin Foundation, where he's involved as well, which is about providing free cricket coaching to underprivileged children. People who cannot pay fees, but have the skill sets to are very good at cricket. We sort of sponsor their cricket coaching part. And if you see, even in this recent coronavirus thing that happened, there's this place called Tirupur in suburban Tamil Nadu, where there are drivers, there are these taxi drivers who are not getting any assignments right now because they are not able to travel. So Ashwin sort of sponsored their food, their groceries and everything for a specified period of time. So there are a lot of activities that we keep doing, Shikhar. So his calendar is sort of jam-packed whether he plays or not.
Interesting. When I was visiting you guys, I also remember that Ashwin had gone to play a match. And then you also added that it's almost natural to him that whenever he's in town, he catches up on domestic cricket.
Yeah, so you can never separate cricket from Ashwin. They are like inseparable twins. Both love each other and both are made for each other as far as the game of cricket is concerned. And he's not playing national cricket. He's playing, other forms of cricket, whether it's domestic level, whether it's for the state or for the local league. He is constantly involved. As far as I've never seen such a person who is always thinking about the game. You cannot take cricket away from Ashwin. That is one thing that is for certain.
Very well. But over the last year or so, I mean, over the last few years since T20 came in, the quantum of cricket has gone immensely, and this is also reflected in some of international players complaining about mental stress. There were players. I mean, Glenn Maxwell came out in the open. Even Praveen Kumar mentioned that playing at the top level with so much pressure, leading the country, representing the country at that level, there's a lot of pressure that a cricketer has to undergo. So, as a manager, how important is it, for you to manage a situation like that? And what is your opinion on this?
It is, as far as pressure is concerned, it's a role reversal. Constantly, Ashwin is the one who's teaching us how to handle pressure and how to handle stress. He keeps talking about mind and the subconscious mind and how we need to sort of differentiate between the two and ensure there is a proper balance. He talks a lot about visualization techniques. So if you are in touch with him and on a daily basis, it is actually a nice place to de-stress, because the moment you talk to him, he actually motivates you and inspires you. So it is a sort of other way around when it comes to pressure or stress. He always asks me, TBK, are you, because he calls me Tall Boy Karthik. That's how I'm popularly known as in the institute circle. So he calls me by TBK. So he says, TBK, how are you? How are you feeling? Are you okay? Are you feeling, pressurized or anything? And when you talk to him, he's sort of very, very chilled and very, very relaxed. So immediately you're sort of, though he's a celebrity, he's one of the world's greatest cricket players. Once you talk to him, you almost feel as if you're talking to a normal human being.
No, I would vouch for it for sure. In our interactions, we've absolutely. I've never felt the air that
he's very, very humble.
The legend that he is.
Full of humility. And he will he'll make you feel very, very comfortable when you're in his presence. In fact, the entire family is like that. You have not interacted much with his parents or with Preeti, but the entire family, considers me as one of their family members. So I can almost chat with them on my personal issues, and they make me feel at home. So it's a lovely feeling working with both Preeti and Ashwin.
Very well. No, but just going back on that question, there are times when cricketers go through a bad phase. You know, everybody's got uh, being in form and out of form, and you know, just a couple of matches here and there, and pressure starts to build you sometimes in the playing squad or out of it. There was also the marketing incident. So, you know, I understand that you're saying that Ashwin motivates you and the team, but there might be these times when Ashwin would also, you know, be found in a difficult spot, you know, and fighting an internal battle within himself. So, uh, how is it to
As far as the Mankading incident is concerned, there was this popular Rajesh Khanna Sharmila Tagore movie where there is a song "Kuch to log kahenge, logon ka kaam hai kehna." Do you remember that song?
Yeah, absolutely.
छोड़ो बेकार की बातों को कहीं बीत न जाए रहना. So
Nice,
social
very
media is a
nice.
place where you get trolled. You have to learn as a celebrity to pass certain things. And as a manager, I also let these things pass and ensure that they don't affect me. Because the more you get into it, the chances are that you might react in an adverse manner. So half the time we are ignoring these things. Ashwin is a very open person when it comes to social media is concerned. Whenever it needs to be given back, he will not find himself wanting. He will surely reply in an apt manner that is not rude, but yet
Right.
very, very strong.
He
There
knows how
are
to use
times when,
assertiveness well enough.
yeah. So there are times when he may feel, as a sportsman, it's natural to feel, have ups and downs as well. But those are times when Ashwin comes out even more stronger. He would dedicate more time towards practice. He would be back in the nets, trying out different things, trying out different, methods as far as bowling or batting is concerned. He will go up to the coaches who are there, seek their expert advice. So those are the times when the best comes out of Ashwin. A pressure situation is when Ashwin actually performs even more better. If I'm sort of to answer your question in better terms.
Right. No, we take your word on that. Just going back a little more on the marketing incidents you'd allow. How would it?
I told you. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे.
No, but consider a scenario where Ashwin was a batsman, and you know somebody and the bowler did that. How do you think Ashwin would have?
Yeah, so if you see his opinion on social media as far as Mankading is concerned, he always felt, and all of us also did, that everyone needs to play by the rule book. If a bowler, right, gets hit for 4 or 6, he is blamed, or he's saying that, there is a saying that he's not bowling well or something like that. If a batsman is allowed to take advantage, why can't a bowler be allowed to rectify it in some manner if it is within the rules of the game? And this was perfectly in the rules of the game. He was not going against the rule book. It is a part of the rules saying that the batsman needs to stay within the crease till the bowler completes his action. If the batsman is taking an advantage, why can't he be penalized?
No, that's an absolutely valid point. And I think batsmen have actually began to be a little more conscious about being inside the crease.
Exactly. Post that incident, I think batsmen are more often than not staying within the crease and ensuring that they play the rule. It is an unfair advantage. Imagine there is, one ball to run, one ball to win, and the bowler comes to bowl, and the batsman coolly walks out of the crease and completes the run, the non-striker. It is an unfair advantage, right? Especially in close matches. These are things that decides whether a team wins a match or not. So you are supposed
also
to
in
play
the times when the sport is so much, tilting towards the batsman in the favor of a batsman. So I mean, this is only fair.
Yeah. So definitely there was nothing wrong in what Ashwin did. And I don't, and I absolutely endorse what he did at that point of time, because it was in the rule book.
No, absolutely. Okay, talking about T20 cricket, before the popularity of the sport, spinners were usually not given to bowl, in the power play overs. But Dhoni, in a T20, Dhoni gave Ashwin the opportunity to bowl in the power play, and he did exceptionally well for his IPL team. Uh, and it was obviously Dhoni, like you said, he's a legend, and uh, something must have definitely, come to his mind when he decided to do it. But how do you see how much of an impact does a captain have on a young player? The decisions that he makes, and its consequence on a young player and a team.
I think captains or leaders, for that matter, CEOs of organizations, does not apply to sports alone. It applies to every sphere of the world or of organizations. If you see, CEOs and leaders have that natural ability to recognize talent. So if you take an organization, you'll be able to, the CEO will be able to say, okay, this person is so good at this particular area, so he should be utilized in a particular function. Same goes for the game of cricket. Dhoni is a great leader, and he knows what to identify in a particular player. His field placements are spot on. The bowling in changes that happen are usually spot on. His reflexes behind the wicket are unparalleled. A leader should be seen as a person who does something himself which is exceptional, and that sort of rubs off on the other players as well. As far as Ashwin is concerned, he's an excellent new ball bowler, unlike most of the other spinners in the world, because maybe his large hands and the way he grips the ball, he's able to actually extract more turn and fizz from the new ball. So that is something maybe Dhoni sort of noticed very early on in the game and decided to use him in the power play.
Yeah. No, Ashwin has, to my understanding, he's got this knack to play with the minds of the batsmen, and
he does.
beat
Beat
the batsman with his wit more than the other things.
So it is the same off field also. He has this. You can call it, he has a very good talent of recognizing people. The first time he meets them, he sees them, interacts with people. He knows, what is coming. Similar would be the game of cricket as well. He recognizes the batsman, the kind of strengths that he has, the weaknesses that he has, and accordingly he has a bowling plan set for that. If you had noticed, even Cook, while India were playing England in England, those two classic dismissal, very clean bowls, Cook. He's very, very successful when it comes to left-handed batsmen. So that comes very natural to him.
He's also led the IPL franchise Kings 11. So how do you think captaincy helped Ashwin mature in the game? We've seen when Rohit Sharma started leading Mumbai Indians, he suddenly was a changed player, and he just seemed like a more complete cricketer on field. How do you see Ashwin being affected?
Ashwin is a born leader. Leadership qualities come very, very naturally to him. Again, taking his on-field examples and his off-field what he does, there are numerous leadership qualities which come very, very easily to him. If you ask me what were his experience as an IPL, is that your question? Are you saying that
Yeah, my question was that how do you think after he started leading an IPL franchise, how did his game evolve, if it did?
I think he what leadership is all about, involving people and giving them specific roles, uh, given the setup, given the the team that he had. He did exceptionally well because he was always and that comes off, even with me as his manager. I'm able to see what he does on field and what he does off field. He loves to delegate. He loves to give roles and responsibilities. He loves to listen to feedback from people. He's constantly innovating. He allows people to innovate. He is very, very flexible when it comes to decision making. It's not that he does all the decision making, but he allows subordinates to take the process of decision making forward. And I think that is very, very critical when it comes to sports as well. I'm sure that he does the same thing on field, and I've seen him doing it on field as well. He involves the players when he's a leader. And I guess that is the best quality of a person. In spite of having all these qualities, even in your interaction with Ashwin, you would have found him to be very, very humble and straightforward.
No, indeed. And in my head, I'm thinking Ashwin must watch this interview because he'd be mighty pleased with your opinion about him. I mean, it's not that he wouldn't know, but I suppose it's always good
to... I know he loves me. He has a lot of feeling for me and he understands me a lot in and out. So I love working with him. Perhaps one of the best jobs in my over 20 years of experience is my job with Ashwin, because the way he treats me and the way he allows me to function, and the way Preeti and Ashwin's father, his mother, all of them are sort of with me in what I do. So I'm sort of indebted in every which ways to the family, to Ashwin. And I hope this association will continue for many more years to come.
Indeed. And I must add here that the interactions I have had with you, I've also gotten to, develop a sort of fondness to your style of operation and just your persona in general. So I must congratulate you for that.
Thanks, Shikhar. It was nice talking.
Okay. We're coming to the last section of our talk here. Of course, COVID is the topic on everybody's mind, and talking about sport and how it will change the scenario going forward. Just spend a few minutes telling us about how at GenX Institute you are, charting new territory. I mean, taking the changes.
So let me just tell you what happened when COVID struck us. As I told you before, we were one of the first institutes to shut down because we had our customers' interest in our mind. We wanted to ensure that everyone stays at home, safe, healthy, and not come in contact with this dreaded disease.
Right.
We were in that mode for a period of about 10-12 days. And then we quickly realized as an organization, we need to bounce back because a lot of people are dependent on us in terms of coaches, assistant coaches, operation staff, groundsmen, everyone. So there is definitely some amount of revenue that needs to be generated. Having said that, we said that, okay, let's do something online because that is something that we have never ventured before. So we started, reaching out to a few customers. Initially, it was, 4 or 5 a day who sort of took one-on-one sessions with our coaches. And then the word sort of started spreading around, given our very, very strong social media presence. There is this colleague of mine, Mr. Sudarshan, who is an expert online social media.
Yeah, I've met Sudarshan, and he comes from an working experience with Amazon, and I think the newer technology
he's very, very
naturally.
good. Yeah, social media comes off very naturally to him. So he would post about these online sessions, and slowly we started getting more traction. we said, okay, 4, 5 became 10, 10 became 20. And in a day, we were about doing almost, now we are clocking about 18 to 20 one-on-one sessions with our coaches involved. And then word spread around across the globe. People from US, people from UK and other parts of the world, they started and, asking us, can you do sessions for us? Can you do group sessions for us? Online is, and a lot of people have this apprehension that, cricket online, how do you do it? Because cricket is an outdoor sort of activity. And in these times, people are stuck indoors. So we have good, solid coaches. We have coaches like, Santosh, Arvind, Srinivasan, Vivek, Sendil. All these are ICC certified coaches. So they made drills that could be done and practiced indoors. And we know the size of an Indian home, right? At least in countries like US, you have a backyard space, or in UK, you have that place where you can sort of practice in the backyard. But in India, you have a living room where, which is very, very small. So we ensured that we did drills that were innovative, that could be practiced within the houses without disturbing anything, and taken forward. In fact, what we have observed is we are able to give more personalized attention using the online medium. We are able to correct certain things like grip of the ball, grip of the bat, because the person is able to bring the grip close to the screen and show that this is how he is holding the bat, or this is how he is holding the ball. And Ashwin is also very involved in these sessions. He clearly explains through innovative drills that can be practiced.
How long is this session usually for?
So some of these sessions range between 30 minutes to 1 hour.
Okay. So
depending on the requirement.
Okay. Interesting. And what's the best way to reach out to someone at GenNext for prospective session?
Oh, you can ping. You have my number. You can contact me. You can ask them to contact me directly. Give them my numbers. I have no absolute. I have no reservations about sharing my numbers with anyone who's interested.
And you have a social media presence that people can write to you on?
Yeah, they can write to me or Sudarshan, and GenNext is there on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. They can follow GenNext Cricket Institute on Instagram, on any of these social media handles, and post their messages, and we will take it forward from there, or you can also pass on my numbers.
Perfect. All right. Thank you very much for this conversation with us, Karthik. It has indeed been a pleasure. And we absolutely love the passion you have for the sport and for Ashwin. And it must only be a dream job for you, managing Ashwin.
Well, yes, it is a dream job to be a part of the Legends team. I'm constantly, every day, I'm living a dream, and I hope this association will go on for several more years. It was a pleasure talking to you, Shekhar. Our association happened by chance, but then I would love to see how we can associate further and do some great business.
Indeed. I also take this medium to convey my regards to Ashwin and Ms. Preeti.
I will do that. I will convey your regards and best wishes to both Ashwin and Preeti. Thanks, Shekhar.
Thank you, Karthik. Wish you very all the best.
And stay safe.
Thank you. Stay safe. Bye-bye.